Okay, so I've got the cant line now for the belt strap, and so now I need to trim away the excess kydex here. We're gonna take a line here, and we'll get the exact cant in a minute, but just so you can see, I'm gonna take the belt loop strap perpendicular to this. Make sure it's the same side that you're gonna be putting the belt loop on. But as far as all this other stuff, like from here over, and you can probably round it up until you get to your belt loop strap. You're going to cut away all this stuff. So, I mean, on this side here, all this is going to get cut out. And I'll probably take this up. I haven't decided yet. Probably bring it up like this. Cover the slide. Maybe bring this down a little ways. Go with it there. I mean, whatever you really want to do with it, you can do. I'm just using a pencil to outline where I'm going to cut, and then I'll just take my my roto zip or my Dremel and cut it out. Okay, so I'm outside now because I'm going to do some nasty cutting here. I'm going to put some cardboard in here to separate it, so that I don't cut on the other side, because both sides aren't going to be exactly the same. But I've got my roto zip and my safety glasses on, and okay, so I've done a kind of a rough cut. Now I need to do some more trimming to find out what I need to cut and what I don't need to cut off the holster. So I'm going to take the pistol, put it in, and you can see here where it folds around the gun. That makes it too hard to get out. So I'm going to need to trim this up a little bit better right through here so that I can slide in and out pretty easy. Okay, so I've got it rough cut with the cutoff wheel. Now I'm going to take this sander and I'm going to clean this up a bit more so it looks a little nicer. So I'm just flattening that out. That's all I'm doing. Just flattening that out. Okay, so let me show you what I've done here. Do you remember the cant line that we did on our gun? Well, I've put it in here. I've cut enough of this away so that I don't mess up the belt clip. And I've just matched with another piece of masking tape that line. So I just lined up this with this side here, and now I'm going to take my belt clip and I'm going to cut straight up perpendicular to this line here, straight up. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I've put just a couple pieces of tape perpendicular to my cant line, and now I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my my cutoff wheel. I'm going to cut this out all the way up, same on this side too. So I just have one little strip there. Okay, so I've done a rough cut on it, and now I'm just taking that sanding block that I had and I'm going to smooth all this out. Okay, so I've got this pretty well cleaned up. It looks pretty good. Still got to do the belt loop, but other than that, it's pretty nice. You can see here I cut this down quite a bit and shaped this, lining up pretty good there. Okay, so I took off the two tapes that were running across there. Remember, this is the line for our belt clip. And so on this part, you're gonna want to pay extra attention to it, because it's a fairly critical piece. I mean, if you screw up on it now, you're pretty much done. You have to start over, unless you rivet another piece of plastic on there, which we don't want to do. So I like to give my bend radius about 1/4 of an inch, so it sticks out about 3/16, 1/4 of an inch, somewhere in there. So I'm just going to kind of make a line with the pencil, and then I'm going to go probably another, well, we're going to bend this at a 90 here, so I'm just going to take it off maybe a little bit more, I think you can't really see it here, maybe a quarter or 3/16, somewhere in there. So now, take the heat gun. Gonna heat up this spot right here. You can see it starting to bend. That's good. Now I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna follow that line and bend this over to about a 90. I'm just going to hold it there until it is cooled down. Okay, now on most belts, some are fairly thick and some are fairly thin. So I'm going to try to probably go about maybe a 1/2 inch right here, across there. So I'm going to cut this part off. I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to cut that part off. So this piece here is going to be gone. Okay, you can see here I've got the first part of the belt clip done, and it's about 3/8, yeah, about 3/8 inch wide, in case you have a really thick belt on. Now if you're using a smaller belt, like a 1-inch belt, then you can customize this to fit a 1-inch belt. You know, whatever you use most, because this probably wouldn't work real great on a 1-inch wide belt, but it would work. Now if you made a 1-inch belt loop, then it's definitely not going to work on an 1.5-inch belt. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the clip. So let's go ahead and do the other part of the clip. Again, we're going to use our heat gun. I'm going to be extra careful this time not to heat this part up. We just want to get that there. Okay, now we're just going to let that cool down. So there you have your belt loop clip. You can see it there. So this will go down into your pants. In my case it's the right side. So it goes down and then it clips over the belt. And we'll give that a trial run here. And then we got to install the hardware. Okay, so I've got it in there now. You can see it's pretty secure. The gun comes out no problem. Got to put those rubber spacers in it. It's a little tight, a little hard to get out. But it's not going anywhere. So far pretty good. Okay, so I've got my rubber spacers. Well, I'm going to cut this so it makes rubber spacers. Right now it's just one. And then I've got my number 6 screws, machine screws, finish washers, and my T-nuts. Now, one thing to note on the T-nut, I might have to shave this down a bit. You can see there that it's a little tall, but no big deal. That sanding paper on the or the sanding wheel on the RotoZip cuts those down no problem. So basically I'm just going to take, I think this one was for the screws, and then this one for the T-nut hole, and I'm just going to mark on here 2 spots, and I'll put the rubber spacer between there, and then the bolt will go through there, and then you can adjust the tension on your gun. Okay, and then you just put your machine screws here. Now you can adjust the tension on it when it's sliding out. And that's all there is to it, really. That's it, it's done. Okay, so it's been a few days since we finished the holster, and I wanted to give you an update or a review on how it's working out. And to be honest, it's working out really well. It's a very comfortable holster. You can see here I can move over without it pinching me. I can also sit down with it being pretty comfortable. Now, with your holster when you're making it, some things to think about is how it unholsters and reholsters. You can see here that I can do it with one hand, no problem. Also, another thing is that the belt clip stays secure on the belt and the holster doesn't come out. You can see how that's snug, and it's very tough to pull out of my waistband. So here's a close-up shot of what the holster looks like. It's very professional looking, and it feels like a professionally fit holster. Now, as far as durability goes, this little holster here I've been wearing for about 2 years now. And you can see the belt clip is still intact, and I haven't really had any problems with it. I like this holster and gun because it's very comfortable. But once again, with this, you can see I can unholster and reholster with one hand without the holster coming out of my waistband. So, hope you've enjoyed this segment of the Project Junkie and how to make a custom-made Kydex holster, and I will catch you on the next project.